Hello, everybody, and welcome back to This Day in History. It is July 8th, 2024, and it is a scorcher. It's going to be a scorcher today. It's supposed to be 100, 101 today. It's hot, so you know what? I'm not going to, go embellish or overboard or whatever. Let's just get into it, all right? So the birthdays. 1839, on this day, July 8th, is John D. Rockefeller. He's an American industrialist. His birthday was today. 1906, Philip Johnson. He was an American architect, and he was a critic known for his promotion of the international style of architecture. And he would later become one of those defining uh, characters of postmodern architecture. He was born on this day in Cleveland, Ohio, in 1906. 1908, another Rockefeller, Nelson Rockefeller. He was the vice president of the United States under Gerald Ford from 74 to 77. He was born on this day. American actor Jeffrey Tambor was born on this day in 1944. Now, he's also kind of a comedian type too. Trying to remember the best thing to, where you might remember who he is. The original Hellboy movie with Ron Perlman. Jeffrey Tambor was that government agency director who denied the existence of Hellboy. He was the guy who lit Hellboy's cigar toward the end of the movie. That's Jeffrey Tambor. Kind of a funny guy. Another actress, or actress, whatever, Angelica Houston. Her birthday is today in 1951. She was born on this day. She was an actress who did a lot of stuff, and I just can't think of anything right off the top of my head. I'm sorry. 1970, we have American singer-songwriter Beck. He was born on this day. So let's get into the history, right? 1815, Louis the 18th returns to Paris following the 100 Days. So what's the 100 Days? Well, the 100 Days is that time period. It's that short period of time where Napoleon Bonaparte escapes his exile on the island of Elba, and he makes his return to France for a short time. All right, so that 100 days is from the time that he gets, makes his escape from Elba to the time that Louis the 18th is crowned King of France again. Or rather, he returns to France and presumably becomes queen. Basically, it's like Napoleon took another run at seizing power and failed again. And then Louis the 18th was installed as it was a different kind of monarch though. Like, it wasn't the same monarch that they had before, but Louis the 18th was considered to be the last, if I recall right, the last king of France. It was they that point they kind of transitioned away from, or they were transitioning away from monarchy to become more like, a republic like us. Which, I mean, that did eventually happen. They had their French Revolution, and which would have been about this time, I think. So, the 1833, we see the Treaty of Hunkar Eskilisi. It's signed near Istanbul. It was a defensive alliance between the Ottoman Empire and the Russians. 1889, John L. Sullivan. If you're a boxing fan, you know that Sullivan is kind of like one of the household names in the sport of boxing. John L. Sullivan beats Jake Kilrain in 75 rounds to defend his title in the last heavyweight championship bout under the London Prize ring rules. And basically those rules, it was bare knuckle fighting, like, no gloves. It was all straight fisticuffs. There was stuff like you had 30 seconds in between rounds. You had another 8 seconds to get to the center of the ring to start it over again. Like a knockdown ended the round. um, which now you can understand why it, they went 75 rounds, because I mean the 75 rounds they weren't like what we think of today, where like each round is timed. It was, they weren't like 3-minute rounds or whatever. I'm not sure if they timed them or not, but it kind of sounds like these rounds were basically a new round started when someone got knocked down. Also, there's like things like headbutting, gouging, hitting below the belt. The stuff that you don't see in boxing was banned in boxing back then. So it's like for obvious reasons. But also on this day in 1889, so that was 1889 that when that happened. But also on the same day, journalist Charles Henry Dow publishes the very first issue of the Wall Street Journal. So, you had a couple things that happened on the same day there. 1896, William Jennings Bryan delivered his Cross of Gold speech at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. Other than that, I don't know anything about this guy. 1947, local newspapers report the recovery of a flying saucer near Roswell, New Mexico. And as you know, that's where the whole Roswell incident kicked off. And to this day, it's a huge, huge conspiracy and the like. On this day, July 8th, in 1950, General Douglas MacArthur, he's appointed commander of the UN forces in Korea, which probably should have picked somebody else because the guy was an idiot. Sorry, anytime you have a general contradicting what a sitting president is going to say or puts words in the president's mouth, one of the things that MacArthur did is that he basically told the Chinese to back off, and that if they continued to get involved in this conflict, then that he was going to drop an atom bomb on them. And the thing is, like, for one, China was a UN member, a founding UN member along with us, so you don't go tell one of the founding UN members you're going to go drop a nuke on them. Second, you don't ever say that without the express permission, implied or otherwise, of the President of the United States, because he's the one who's going to make that decision. And the nuclear option, as it were, was never on the table for President Truman during this conflict. Never. So, Truman actually fired him largely because of, stuff like that. On this day in 1996, British pop group Spice Girls, they debuted their single Wannabe. And then that single went viral, as it were, and they became international pop stars. In 2011, the orbiter Atlantis launched on its very last space shuttle mission. We have a couple of interesting key points of history. It's on this day in 1994 that Kim Il-sung, he was the North Korean president, he would die at the age of 82. That is Kim Jong-il's father. The featured event that happened on this day, July 8th, 1497, Vasco da Gama, he set sail on his first voyage to India with a fleet of 4 ships. Ultimately, he opened up a new sea lane that went from Western Europe to Asia via the Cape of Good Hope, which that's the southern end of South Africa. So that is that's this day in history for July 8th. It's a scorcher, so wherever you are, be well, be safe, be careful, take care. Stay hydrated for sure, because there's this heat wave going on, so just be careful and take care of yourselves, all right? So with that, I'm going to sign off. I got to go help a friend from church install her air conditioner, so I'm headed to do that right now. So be safe, take care, right? And I will talk to you again, and we'll do this all again tomorrow for July 9th. All right, see ya.